Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Anatalia Macik, the founder of Kanda Consulting. Anatalia brings an impressive 20-year career with 15 years in business development, specializing in federal civilian proposals and a passion for building high-performing teams and processes. Based in Richmond, Virginia, Kanda Consulting, founded in 2023, is transforming how businesses win federal contracts through expert content creation, process development, and strategy support. We'll be exploring her founding story, how her business empowers clients in the federal contracting space, and her vision for scaling this expertise-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right in. Anatalia, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk through this with you today.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show today, Anatalia. So really would love to start at the top for our listeners. If you could take us back to the beginning and walk us through what specific problem in the federal contracting landscape really inspired you to start consulting.
Yeah, so there wasn't actually a specific problem. What happened is, I'll take you back a few years. I had been approached, I don't even know how many times, doing my job over the course of like almost 2 decades. Many people came to me and kept saying, "You should start your own business. Why haven't you started your own business yet? When are you going to start your own business?" And I always said, "No, that's not for me. Maybe when I retire." And
Yeah.
then I'd go to answer. And I never really understood why people kept coming to me and saying that because honestly, there are a lot of people in the market who do what I do in the federal contracting space. And so I couldn't really think through why I should start my own business. And then in 2023, I was laid off. I was at a large integrator and there were a number of issues, and I lost my job, which was very surprising to me and not something that I expected. And so at that point, it became a necessity. The problem was I needed a job. I needed income. And so it became, okay, what can I do? And I thought back to everybody saying, why don't you start your own business? And so it became an opportunity for me. And looking at the marketplace, I realized, okay, maybe there is a home for me and my skill set and what I can do and what I can bring. And actually, maybe serendipitously, the very same day I was laid off, someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, would you be open to working with us as a consultant?"
Ah,
And that's how we started.
well, the stars aligned when they were needed most. So that's
Indeed.
a beautiful thing. Natalia, I would love to get into the nuts and bolts with what you're doing with Conda right now, especially for our listeners who many listeners right now could be tuning in once this episode airs and want to come work with you with your services, what you're offering. Walk us through how you're really generating revenue today as far as your core offer. After some of the research, I know you have some tailored proposal development, some process creation. Really walk us through all of your core offerings and how that's structured for your clients. Obviously, we know that your clientele and your ideal client is in the government space there. So if you want to walk us through all, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk through that because, yes, a lot of my expertise is with proposal development for federal contractors. However, there's a lot that goes into that. And what I have seen in the marketplace is that many businesses think that to grow their business, to continue to be a successful federal contractor, it's proposals and business development. But there's so much more to that. And my expertise and what I offer to clients goes far beyond federal contracting. I have experience in commercial bidding as well as international bidding. I've worked with a lot of international customers and even so there's a lot of acronyms I could throw at you. I'm going to try to make sure I define them all because it can get confusing. But there's something called business to government, B2G, and
Mhm.
business B2B. Please call me out if I just start throwing out letters, though.
No worries.
So while a lot of my experience is in the B2G space, I do also have experience in B2B. So there is for proposals, for marketing, for sales. A lot of companies usually focus on each of those in silos. What Kanda offers is a holistic approach to all of that. So your messaging, your strategy across your marketing, business development, and sales departments so that you can tell a cohesive story. And adding to that, the processes and templates that go along across all of those departments. So what that really looks like, because that kind of sounds like a big idea, but what does it really mean? So when you have your own company, when you are trying to sell, whether it's to the government, whether it's to another business, whether you're selling services, whether you're selling actual products, right? There's something that's going to be unique about you. There's something that's going to differentiate you from your competition. What is that one thing, right? Kanda can come in, help you determine what is that one thing? What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that's meaningful about you that's going to set you apart? And then making sure that you tell that story across all of those different departments, because each of those different areas is how you're going to build up your brand, build up your recognition, and connect to your customers. And it's important that every company connects to their customers consistently across those three areas. So sometimes we focus on our marketing with our websites, our blogs, our brochures, and we tell a story there. And then in our proposals, maybe we tell a different story. And it might look a little bit different than what's on our website. And then our salespeople, they might have a whole other story that they're telling when they're going out and meeting with customers face to face. And those three things don't always look the same, but our customers, when they're talking to our salespeople, after they have those conversations, they're probably going to go back and look at our website. And then eventually they're going to get a proposal. And then if those things aren't all connected, they're going to be confused. And guess what? You're going to lose. You're not going to connect with your customer and you're not going to win. And so companies are out there, and especially small businesses, but also large businesses, right? They don't always get the wins that they want and they're confused. They're like, we've invested all this money in our sales team and we're just not getting the revenue that we want. We're not achieving our goals. Why is that? It's because you don't have a cohesive story. It's not aligned to your customers' needs, and it's not aligned to your passions either. So Kanda comes in, we help dig out what those passions are, we align them to your customers' needs, and we tell it cohesively across all of your departments.
Incredible. Incredible. So not only are you providing that proposal development process creation on that federal contractor side, but also working with businesses on the consulting side, right? Around that marketing, the business development, the sales department, bringing all that together. It's incredible what you're really bringing to the table here, Anatalia. Walk us through how you're approaching the idea of scale, right? Having that productized offer and taking it to that next level. What's your approach on that front? And as far as the offerings that you are providing right now, which one do you see as that one that is going to take you and that scalable side?
And that's why with Kanda, we focus a lot on the process and the templates as well, because not only do we want your company to scale, we need to be able to scale too.
Yeah.
So it's all about sustainable process and sustainable templates. So it's not just coming in and saying, oh, here's the grand idea. A lot of consultants do. We're aware of that. A lot of consultants come in, here's the PowerPoint, here's what's going to take it to the next level, and then no actual implementation process. So there is looking at the team that's actually behind what's going to get you where you need to go, evaluating that structure that's in place, understanding the skill set, and not just the skill set, the attributes too. I have presentations that I've done on not only do you need these like technical skills and maybe leadership skills, but there are certain personality traits and attributes that are necessary to be successful, to carry out this particular vision. Those are things that a lot of people don't often consider when they're implementing change, right? And so that's something that Kanda brings in and says, hey, if you want to continue to grow, these are the softer side skills, right? We typically call them, that need to be in place. And that's something that Kanda has internally as well that we consider as we're growing. Kanda also offers professional coaching. So for people who are in the business development space themselves, or even outside of that, if you're looking to grow your career, we can help you through that. Or if you're a business, if you're another CEO or leader and you're looking to evolve your team, maybe you have the processes, maybe you've got the messaging, but your team just isn't where you need them to be. We can go through professional coaching with them to help get them to where you need them to be. Because sometimes people just, they're not in sync with each other, or they're not in sync with your vision. And we need to get them there so that they can scale and get that right mindset for you to grow together. And we can work through that as well. So between people, processes, right, we can scale and grow to where we need to be.
Love it. I absolutely love that. So are you running this as a solopreneur right now, Anatalia, or do you have a team with behind you here? Sales team, marketing team, assistants? What does that process right there look like for you to achieve the success that you're seeing?
Yeah, so right now we're solo.
Really? Just the
Yes.
Anatalia show.
It's the Anatalia show right now, yes. So we started in 2023, and initially it was just me like taking contracts wherever I could get them. And in the last year, actually in the last couple of months,
Yeah.
I've only just been able to really focus and figure out what that message really is and what it is that Canada truly offers, right? So as I mentioned, when it started, it was me being laid off and just, I need to make money.
I can figure it out.
And that was the sole focus of it. And so
Right.
it's only been in the last few months where I've figured out what is Canada actually going to
Yeah.
do? What is Canada actually going to be? And so now we're starting to invest in structure and really hone in on that message and that plan.
I love it. I love it. So you're a solopreneur, obviously so many different hats you have to wear. One of the biggest ones, sales and marketing, right?
Yes.
What's working best for you right now on the acquisition side? Because obviously it's a bottleneck to be by yourself, right? That's tough. It's not easy. So what's working best for you right now on the acquisition side? How are you approaching the idea of scale again on that front, bringing more predictable leads, having a system in place where you know you're going to have leads coming in every month?
Yes. So connections, working with networking, and actually not single person to person networking, but larger groups like organizations. So
Yes.
finding different organizations that actually are interested in the type of work, or have a base that's interested in the type of work that I am doing. So professional organizations, going to their events, right, communicating with lots of different people, that's been really a great source to look for potential customers, potential clients, even just other professionals who do what I do, who also offer the same, not the same, but similar complementary services so that we can work together and build partnerships. That's been a huge asset.
I love it. I love it. So nothing too much around the social media side or ads just yet. That's something that you're thinking as you continue to scale, you're going to start implementing these pieces to have that predictability in that lead size from the sounds of it.
That's true. Although I will say social media has always been a big factor. That's where everything got started. So
Right.
building thought leadership on social media. I don't know if you're aware, but on LinkedIn, I created a video series. I started with that, I think, before anything else, just putting my thought leadership out there, getting my brand out there. That existed, I think, before my website, before anything else, making sure that any potential customer has a sort of library of information about my ideas, my expertise, my understanding, and that's the base of what Kanda offers.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So overall, really sounds like you are in a position now where you know what you want, you know where you're going, you know the quality that you can provide. A couple of the bottlenecks that you're having now, though, is around that predictable lead generation system, putting that into
Yes.
place, and then obviously starting to get someone behind you, sales team, maybe setter, closer, some marketing help, and really starting to build a team around the vision now. Incredible having you on the show, Natalia. It's clear as day with your passion and your drive that these things are going to be achieved. So truly an honor so far hearing your story and how you're approaching these challenges. It's a beautiful thing. So I would love to hear the rest of the year. Paint us that picture right now. What does the rest of this year look like for you now that you do have that vision in place and where you're trying to get? Walk us through the top priorities. What are you laser focused on to really start to achieve these things?
Yeah, laser focus for the rest of this year is along the lines of what we were just talking about. It's reach. So
Yes.
getting out there, making sure we're building that client base so that we can start pulling in more clients, so that we can start growing. I can hire some people and start scaling up. But yeah, that is the number one focus. And so there's going to be a lot more events, joining a lot more organizations, more networking. There's something I've been working on, building a client email list, right? Going all the way back to basics as far as client outreach. And so starting there and building up. I started in 2023, but really this year, this summer, is like starting fresh all over again. And I think that's something too that's really important for people starting a business. Every year can be a brand new year if you need it to be. Figuring out what it is that we're doing, how we're working, what our messaging is. So this year is like a restart. I changed all of the branding, I changed the logo, changed the messaging because where we started is not, we weren't going down the path that we wanted to. Starting over, going to basics, and yeah, focusing on reach is the priority for this year.
Love it. Just continue to break through those bottlenecks and hit those levels. It's the one by one, step by step. And
Mhm.
to our listeners there, that's such a huge piece, right? Because being a solopreneur is not easy. And that's why I love having solopreneurs featured on the show because there are so many different things that can come in your way. And it really is about having that drive, that determination, and look at how you got to where you are, right? You didn't even want to be a founder, right? It was kind
Right.
of thrusted onto you. And look at where you are now, 2 years later having this successful plan in place and now being able to execute upon it. It's a testament to what you put in, you will get out. And just incredible being able to hear that from your side. So, as far as the federal contracting industry as a whole, Anatalia, how do you see the evolution of that, especially with your expertise in agile proposals? Where do you see it going, and how are you positioning yourself to stay ahead of that evolution?
Yeah, that's a great question and a tricky question. I don't know if you've been watching the news.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Lots going on there.
Yeah, this year has been interesting. I'll say
A
that I'll
doozy.
admit that. So staying ahead is hard right now.
Yeah,
But what we have learned, and I actually was a keynote speaker last month, I think. Or no, actually it was the beginning of this month. Time also strange
it
right
flies. Yep.
now. I gave a keynote speech about proposal strategies in this current environment for federal contractors. And what I talked about is that kind of just remembering that federal contracting has continually been evolving since its beginning. And so we're very used to having to pivot quickly. And we're very used to having to like stay on our toes and just being flexible. And so I think right now we might not be able to get ahead because we have no idea what's going to come around the next bend at this current time, right? We just don't know. So just being on our toes and being ready to pivot and knowing that we have, especially for myself, like I have a history of experience doing this job. I've worked in any number of sectors, I've worked with any number of companies, right? I got a lot of experience that I can fall back on. So when the change happens, just being ready to pivot, I think is what I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to be prepared for it. So, yeah, we don't know what's going to come, but we can be ready for anything at this point.
Absolutely love that. So, with that, I do want to take us into the lightning round here, Natalia, and just a couple questions for you before we wrap up the show for our listeners. And the first one I have is going to be more around a tool or resource that you're
Mm.
utilizing. Maybe it's a time blocking technique, a proposal strategy, an AI tool that's really helping you out being a solopreneur. But what's been the biggest game changer for Kanda this far?
Yeah, so I don't want to be like, I feel like it's basic to say AI because everybody's talking AI now.
No, it's not. It's such a game. It's such a factor. I mean, it really is.
It is, but so mine takes a little bit different though, because we've actually been using AI for really long without realizing it. And so a tool that I've used probably since 2018 is Visible Thread.
Uh,
It's AI, it's analytics. Now they do have a generative AI piece, but it's specifically designed for business development, for contracts management, for project management even. But it helps to analyze your documents specifically for like proposals, for marketing, for all of that. So it helps give me a leg up on my documents, on the content, the messaging that I'm generating. So I know it's going to give my clients a leg up as well.
Incredible. And last, certainly not least here, Anatalia, what is the best piece of advice that you can give to our listeners tuning in right now, other founders, entrepreneurs, business owners, just heard your incredible journey? What can you leave them with before we wrap up the show today?
Yeah, I think about that because there's so much.
Yes.
So, so if it's just one thing, I would say be curious, be open, don't box yourself in.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. With that right there, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Natalia, truly, I cannot thank you enough. Just a beautiful soul, incredible energy coming on the show and sharing your journey and your insights with us. And as I mentioned, you're going to do some incredible things, getting thrusted into it and look at how far you've come already. And now you have the vision, you have the goal in mind. And it was an honor to have you on our show, walking us through that. Definitely want to have you back in the future to give us some really good updates because I know there will be many. So again, thank you so much, Natalia. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And also check out Kanda Consulting at kandaconsulting.com or kandaconsult.com. My
And it
apologies.
consults.
Kandaconsult.com for their expertise in federal proposals and strategy, and follow Anatalia on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Anatalia Macik. For more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.